Every conversation I have with clients today starts with what happens next for the Ottawa real estate market. And this conversation continues with colleagues and mortgage brokers, market experts, lawyers, economists, appraisers, even home inspectors. And listen, lots has happened in the last couple of months for Ottawa and Ontario in general. New interest rates, hikes, inflation, the spring market, the lift of restrictions. It's a lot to swallow and consumers have questions and they need answers. Let's talk about it. Welcome back and thanks for tuning in. For anyone tuning in for the first time, please consider subscribing if you're finding value in this type of content. That would be awesome. And for everyone already subscribed, thank you, it means a lot and I appreciate the constant support. Let's start off with where we are in the market today. The average sale price for residential properties in Ottawa for March was $853,000, and that's a plus 13% increase from the previous year. The average sale price for condos was $479,000, and again, we saw a plus 10% increase year over year. So is that good or bad? Well, in terms of appreciation and growth in value, if you're a homeowner, that's amazing. Where else are you going to get that kind of return? But how long does this go on for? It can't last forever, right? And I think that's what we have to keep an eye out for now, especially with all the new changes in the market. Will the average price of homes increase or hover the next 3 to 6 months? But wait, let me rewind for a second on what I just said. The price gap between a residential home and a condo in Ottawa is $374,000 in March. And I've said many times before on this channel that 2022 will be the year of the condos, right? I'll link a video above if you're curious to hear that conversation. Because either the top end of the homes, for this example, let's say all homes above $1 million have to slow down, or the bottom end, which is all homes below $500,000 and are mostly condos, need to increase to make that price gap smaller. And then we have to go back to what is the average income producer able to afford in today's market? Historically, the spring market brings more homes onto the market and it gives the buyers more options. Offer presentation dates aren't always working and sellers are forced to change their price. We start to see canceled listings because the sellers weren't reasonable in what fair market value could get them. But all that's really happening is that we're going from an extreme seller's market to a typical seller's market, not a balanced market. Why? Because despite everything that is happening, whether it's the buyers that are sitting out or the ones that have to move, we still have an extreme supply issue. Now let's talk about inflation increasing steadily. Will interest rates catch up? Can interest rates be higher than inflation? Economists warn that the Bank of Canada is not done raising interest rates in an effort to slow down growth in the real estate market. Mortgage rates are still lower than pre-pandemic levels when the Bank of Canada rate was 1.75%. Again, according to economists, higher interest rates are the best way to cool both inflation and the real estate market, but it will take time to have an effect. But the bigger issue in larger markets is supply and keeping up with the demand. And what about immigration coming into Canada that are ready to buy homes, let alone the number of Canadians trying to enter the market? The feds have plans on trying to freeze some of these investors or helping to build 100,000 homes in 5 years. But is this really enough? So if you're a buyer right now, pay attention to the new listings coming onto the market. Make sure your agent is telling you and updating you on a daily basis on every new property that matches your criteria. Because guess what? You now have options and aren't forced to look at just one property and submit an offer that same day. Wouldn't it be amazing to look at 2, 3, 4 homes in one day, go home, sleep on it, think about it, and then make a decision? That's the kind of market I like. One of the first questions I ask when I meet a buyer or seller is, what's the reason you're getting into the market? And the reason I ask this is because you shouldn't be in this market if you're making a decision strictly on what's happening today. Real estate, in my personal opinion, is a long-term investment, and I think that's the way you should approach it because the opportunity is there, especially in a growing market like Ottawa. It's going through cycles up and down, but you are in control of that investment despite internal and external factors. What are your thoughts? Would love to hear your comments below. Will prices hover for the next 3-6 months? Is summer the best time to buy a home? Or will you sit out and wait maybe until fall to see what happens next? Thanks for tuning in and catch you in the next one. Peace.